Maokai, I think they learned the lesson about Alistair last game. Cyanide was a force to be reckoned with last time around, and it really did allow a lot of Fnatic strategy, which was focused around area of effect crowd control and damage output. And yes, they indeed ban out Zyra. They know to be afraid, but it allows Nunu in for the first time. So, and also Ahri's in, and we had Ahri played both times by Xpeke. Fnatic actually banned Ahri multiple times in a row this time. So now we're going to see if he takes it. That seems likely, and the lock in on Malphite. So this looks back to game one, the very first game that Fnatic played against Curse back on Thursday. They're like, yeah, Ahri and Malphite, great champions.
This is going to be big. Already we have mobile initiation from Fnatic. They have had huge poke comps, and we see a possible Udyr coming out, bringing more crowd control to M5 BenQ's team. Darian looking to pick possibly top lane or for his team. As we go through this champion selection phase, you can pick for your teammates if you're not familiar with League of Legends. Each team bans 3 and picks 5. You are forcing the other team to pick different champions than their mainstays. Each player has a champion pool that they like to play and a certain position. And we will see Corki being picked up, and there you have Darian picking up the AD carries position as he is top. So this affecting a little bit of the gameplay, but allowing Fnatic Raid Call to see what is going to be in that bottom lane.
Yep, and they are going to grab those up. Now, I'm pretty sure that Udyr is going to be on the jungle for Diamond. I've seen him run jungle Udyr a lot, and he is scary as jungle Udyr. We've seen him a couple of times on that in the recent months. That Nunu almost definitely on support. That's going to go to Gosu Pepper, and that's going to be a Nunu Corki lane. Nunu Corki lane is fearsome early on, and it's really fearsome in the end game as well. Early on, you've got a lot of burst damage coming out, both from Nunu's Ice Blast and from Corki's Phosphorus Bomb. You can take someone down 200 or more health as the lane wears on and really chunk them down, and then start continuing on and dealing a lot of damage. At the end game, Nunu's got Blood Boil, increasing movement and attack speeds of himself and a friendly champion. That's going to allow that Corki to scale phenomenally throughout the end game and be so scary. That counter lane for them is going to be Fnatic picking up Lulu and Ezreal.
And we are going to see that Lulu being picked up once again, a very effective champion in the game she has played, and I believe has that 100% win ratio for when she has been picked. We do see Ezreal and Corki on 80% pick for this tournament. They are very highly contested and hardly ever banned. It's one champion wanting them or not. I believe we saw the AD carries yesterday switching off and on, saying, I have your Corki now, you can take my Ezreal, and it just went back and forth throughout the two games. We have Ryze going out again for Alex Ish. If they choose to lock this in, we may see the teleport strategy once again.
Oh yeah, I would not be surprised whatsoever to see Alex run teleport again. That was so phenomenal. And oh, the top lane Xin Zhao pickup here. I don't think we've seen him, at least today, and I don't think we've seen him in quite a while in LAN play. But he's going to say, yes, Xin Zhao top. Now, the cool thing here for Fnatic is they can send Malphite to the top lane. Malphite is categorically very good against stacks of physical damage. He's got an attack speed slow. He scales very well with armor, and he's got a regenerating shield that can block a lot of initial burst damage. Or they can send him into the jungle. Cyanide did play Malphite earlier, and they can grab a different top lane here that they think works well against Xin Zhao. So what Moscow 5 has done is they've grabbed the champion they think will work well against almost anything, because they know they can get counter-picked here. The final pick here for Fnatic looks like it might be Dr. Mundo, who's by trade normally a jungler, meaning they might in fact send Malphite to the top lane. Pekka is going to be on Ahri right now. So as actually right now is on Mundo. They may or may not trade. We actually saw last weekend Dr. Mundo top lane was actually quite excellent, played by Singapore Sentinels, and they're not swapping right now. This could be Malphite in the jungle and Mundo in the top lane, fighting against that Xin Zhao. This could be all kinds of interesting. We're going to swap back and forth. Let's wait for the last 30 seconds to figure out what it is for sure.
So a little adversely here, instead of going for a team that really has a lot of utility and shield and escape, we have somewhat of an HP, that health point steroid coming from Fnatic Raid Call. You have Mundo, who can buff himself with his ultimate that just feeds him health after health, HP after HP, and he's able to get back up in a matter of no time. And you have Lulu as well with that with growth rather. to just give him that HP. And it's going to be very big for coming into that team fight to see how much that turns the table. We see shields do huge things. When Ignite goes down, it can mitigate a lot of damage. But what happens when you get 700 HP right off the bat?
Well, that makes you pretty impossible to kill, and there's not a heavy set of burst damage, late game burst damage, I should say, on Moscow 5's roster. They're going to be all about dedicated, consistent damage output, and 3 of them are forced on basic attacks, making Malphite a great choice here.
Yes.
We're going to see what happens in game 3, but first, we're throwing it to Rachel, who's got more for you guys. Video games to play. Hello, everybody, and welcome to game 3 of the semifinal number 1. The European Regional for Season 2 for League of Legends. M5 BenQ Diamond, the focus of the camera right now. Moscow 5 in the blue team, 1-1 against the red team of Fnatic Raid Call. The winner of this game is guaranteeing them a slot in Season 3 and a shot at the $2 million prize pool at the World Championships in October in Los Angeles. The loser here is going to have to fight the 3rd place match. They don't want to do that. They want to win now. This is what it's up to.
Ladies and gentlemen, you get to cheer for your favorite team one last time in Season 2. Let me hear you for Moscow 5 if you would like to see Moscow 5 take Game 3.
Minions have spawned.
All right, that's my... I'm sorry. If you want to see Fnatic close it out and cement their place in the history books, let me hear you guys cheer for Fnatic.
The definitive crowd once again. Moscow 5 with just too many victories, and everybody's saying, let's bring a new Victor in. But Moscow 5 thinking differently as well. They're going to play at their top.
But Victor's not in this game. You're lying. Sorry. I don't know why I'm making terrible puns right now. I should probably focus on casting properly.
It's all right. It's 3 days halfway across the world, your brain. It's good.
All right. But Diamond getting the start off on the Golem buff. Again, not using his smite to clear this one out. This means that summoner spell will be up for his next camp attempt. Now, he's not going for an invade on the lizard buff. He is going to go across his own jungle and grab the lizard on his own side. And he might turn that into a fast gank, or he might keep clearing. We're going to see what happens the next roughly about a minute.
You know, they may be able to pull this information from the amount of health that Lamia and Enraid did also have here, knowing that they went for the Wraiths and then stayed a little bit longer. Genja did get a little bit of an advantage here. Oh no, on creeps they're actually even as he gets back to lane. Great job by Lamia hitting everything he needed to. They are neck and neck at that CS, but however, you see Genja doing so much damage with those pokes. And again, we're going to see that the first time that neither team is going to have that healer support.
Yeah, so Cyanide making his way in for the first gank as Dr. Mundo. And Xin Zhao is a champion without an escape move, so if he does get jumped on, it's going to be very difficult for him to get away. But Diamond coming around behind Xpeka. The rune prison is on. Alex doing so much damage, and he's now got to run. Diamond's going to show up. However, the positioning is such that he can run up the river, and his team will show up first. Cyanide's on the top half of the map there, and the lane is already pushed down, so Xpeka is safe right now. Alex did get some free damage out.
And Fnatic being very ward aggressive early. They have 3 down on the map. 2 of them are blocking entries to their jungle / in that top bush we saw Ari just run into. That bottom one in the tri-brush. And that tri-brush is a great early ward. If the jungler chooses to go down bottom quickly, that's where you're going to see him first. However, if we do see Udyr come through the river, they may meet with some problems.
Yeah, but right now it's not going to be the case just yet. Actually, Malphite with a fast recall going back for cloth boots and some wards. He's going to be very, very safe against this Udyr. I like that play by Soaz. He got up to level 3, shoved down to the turret, and got that ward to keep himself safe. And now the flash in onto Pekka. He's going to get stunned up by Udyr as well. There is no way he's making it out of this one. First blood going to Alex Ish, and an amazing gank there from Diamond on Udyr.
Very nice job there. Coming in, getting that stun down. They used the room prison, and then once the room prison wore off, they went bear stance. We're able to take that down very easily. The AoE damage of Phoenix. And just capitalize on first blood, helping out Alex very much so in middle. And that's the guy you really want to farm. Ryze is going to be that late game AP carry. Going in once again, throwing down a little bit of Phoenix stance just really to push the lane. And they may be able to throw him off. Huge damage onto Lamia. Enraid also hurt. Forced to go for the summoner heal. And the aggression from F5 BenQ right now is just so great.
Yeah, so Lamia right now going to go back up. Stay alive in this lane. The summoner heal, of course, going to keep him in a decent place. And he's choosing to rank up Essence Flux as his main ability. As he hits level 4, puts his second point there. We've seen that as the most typical build now for Ezreal's. And Lamia putting so much harass down onto Genja. Both these teams really have dealt a ton of damage to each other. Lamia taking Ice Blast after Ice Blast. Genja so low on health and rated out of mana, just like Gozy Pepper is. This is going to be a very, very close fight, although the Summoner heal, I believe is, no, actually that's been burned on both sides, so there's really no easy escape tools on either side right now.
Genja pushing very hard, low mana and low HP to be this far up. If they get Tribush attacked, it could come out very bad for them. Ezreal still trying to get those attacks on. Lamia keeping himself poised to do damage as well as keep his farm up. Top lane just pitter-pattering back and forth. No real aggression there after the gank came top. Now forced to his turret. 2 shots to the melees. Then a quick shot to the Sork minions right after, the caster minions rather, right after they get hit by the turret. There is a method to the madness, and they are doing it quite well.
Yep, Soaz now getting jumped on a little bit by Darian. He will combo through the shield, but ultimately Soaz is winning in minions here in this lane. He's up by about 10, and that Malphite pick really proved to work very well against this Xin Zhao. He's dropping off minions, trying to get some harass in, but Darian is sustaining himself quite nicely. Xpeke actually got to jump in a little bit on the mid lane, doing some damage to Alex, dropping him to half health. Cyanide off from the side as well, but he's getting forced away by Diamond. This is actually an ill-fated push. He flashes in for the bear stance. Xpeke nearby on Alex. The ignite goes on. Cyanide trying to run away still. One hit from dead. He gets the shot out, and there is the second kill in a row picked up for Alex Ish. Now can Pekka buy enough time? Lamia comes in from the side. There's the shot. Kill picked up. Pekka should be able to run here, but Corki shows up. The charm lands. Diamond's not going to like that very much, but Lamia stops the aggression. 8,500 to 8,200. This game still neck and neck right now.
Really great movement by the entire team. Everybody keeping themselves ready to just enter into a fight. They're not worried about their CS at that moment. They're saying, guys, there's big things going down in mid. Everybody's going to be needed here. That chase went down for a certain amount of time. Once that happens, it clicks in your brain that you say, I can make it there before this chase is over, and I can have an effect on this fight. The determination right now is Pekka, Cyanide, and Lamia on your screen. You can just see them poised and ready. Alex Ish, your mid-rise there for Moscow 5, Ben Q. These guys are completely focused on everything that is happening right now. 2-1 is the score. Moscow 5 has found themselves a lead, but we also know, very true from last match, that that means nothing to Fnatic raid call.
Yeah, the 500 gold lead could evaporate with a single champion kill or one good twist of fate with a lane gank. The minions dropping to a turret, anything like that. 500 gold does not mean much right now. This 1-1 scoreline, so very close. Genja up in a trade with Lamia. Genja comes out ahead very nicely there. Some good damage, but he's at half health and he's got to chug a potion. Lamia putting out some amazing harass. Nice Arcane Shift. Escalating Flux putting out some good damage. Gozy Pepper not liking his chances, but Lamia now very, very low. A great push in from Moscow 5, dropping that health. Lamia taking another Ice Blast. Gozy Pepper really putting out a lot of hurt in this bottom lane.
The CS between the ADs, 53 to 50, continuously keeping themselves at almost even. Blue buff to both of the AP carries in mid now. That is going to help with that mana regen and cooldowns on their abilities. They have very early oracles coming into the hands of Diamond Prox here. And he is going to go ahead and sweep wards. Taking that ward, he decides to go back into his jungle. Grab up on red buff, and he's going to probably come down towards that bottom lane, seeing how much it is pushing. If Lamia does not back here, we may see Diamond Prox for an advance.
Yeah, he made a really good move where he ran into Tribush and sweep the ward out and then left. That he can come back a little bit later, because if you sweep the ward and then gank immediately, they'll know you are right there and be like, well, gee, there might be an Udyr behind me. Maybe I should be safe. But if you come back 35 seconds later, then you have a much scarier situation. And in fact, that's what you kind of saw Fnatic do, is they're like, Udyr might actually show up this time. We should go recall and heal and all that. And they shoved the wave down. They put the minions on the turret to make sure that Moscow 5 could not recall until those minions were cleared out. But here comes the gank. The ultimate coming in. Darian getting charmed up as well. So much damage coming up from Xpeke. But actually, he might make it out here. And Soaz taking the turret. Might not like this at all. Diamond still around. His flash should be down. Pekka staying too close. Gets bursted down by Rise. That kill is picked up. And Alex Ish now still the only man on the scoreboard. 3 kills is a lot of kills to have this early on.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. As I said, on Rise too, and he was going for that unconventional build last time of more HP and then penetration as opposed to his ability power. As Genja gets poked down here, this is that composition we were talking about. That poke now forced back with Blood Boil from Nunu. They may be able to turn this one around. Nunu more than happy to stand in front of those Mystic shots right now. And it looks like they are going to be able to force him back a bit, but Genja coming back into lane is already low HP. Or not coming back into lane, trying to return.
Yeah, wow, early Mercury treads actually grabbed here for Lamia to just shake off those Ice Blasts, and they completely dodged the absolute zero. That was amazing, and now Ghosty Pepper kind of left alone. They put some good damage in. If this were a time for teleport, if only Alex had it, that would have been a nice flank kill. But Moscow 5 escaped from that situation. That was very, very scary. They had gotten all the way behind Nunu, put in a lot of pain onto Genja's Corki. But Diamond, waiting in the wings, could go for a gank pretty soon.
Ezreal ulti coming out, and he has no mana after that. He was just doing it to clear the lane. Looks like he will be going back. The AD carries. Ezreal going for the double Dorans. And the Doran's Phage onto Corki. He's trying to recipe into that Triforce a little bit earlier. And we're going to see without that sustain in lane, Ezreal goes for the Vampiric Scepter buy.
Yeah, and that's going to be a really, really good choice. I actually like the lane right now for Fnatic, this bottom lane, more than I like it for Moscow 5. The early Mercury Treads is going to nullify a lot of that Nunu advantage because you're going to make those Ice Blasts last for a lot shorter, and that will allow you to have a much better time fighting. On top of that, he's got the Vampiric Scepter plus the double Dorans, giving him phenomenal sustain, which you just mentioned, of course. And that's really going to be a big deal because they've been trading blows constantly. And look at the bottom of the screen. 5 health potions here on this Corki coming back. There's over 150 gold being spent trying to keep his health back up. That's 150 gold he will not get back. That Lamia can pretty safely just sustain by auto-attacking. That's going to start building an advantage by doing this.
And we can see it hasn't really changed up the way they're buying, but almost everyone right now in Fnatic has their boots too. A lot of them being mitigation boots, that Ninja Tombi stopping armor. Ezreal grabbing the Mert Treads to deny that tenacity as well as a little bit of magic resistance. Nobody has finished their boots on the side of Moscow 5, but then again, they are getting huge items in their recipe.
Oh, absolutely. Here comes the gank in Diamond. Oh, barely Arcane shifts away, and Cyanide is there. It's going to be a 3 versus 3. They're not going to stick in on this. Lamia is going to run away, takes a rocket from Corki, and backs on out. The Oracles here from Moscow 5, though, doing a really good job of keeping Fnatic blind. The map vision is just so much better here for Moscow 5. They are pushing themselves higher and higher in this game. They're now up 1,000 gold, and here we go. You can see the vision. There's not a lot of really sight here for Fnatic. You just saw the champions in the river. They finally got one ward there in front of Dragon, but that's about it.
Now, it almost seems like Fnatic is forgetting their own composition. They're getting very close to these fights when they don't need to. They have a huge amount of poke, and it's costing them a lot of damage in the damage trade, which is not going in their favor. Corki and Nunu just able to poke from their short range is going to outburst all the cleavers you can just dodge through your minions. So them being able to attack over the minions and Mystic Shot having to be passed around, and the Essence Flux really the only thing they can use on the inside poke. Moscow 5 has been doing very good at getting on the inside.
Yeah, and that is really, really good. Although I just said they're laning. You know, Moscow 5 is playing it right. They've been very safe from ganks. They've, you know, that heal bait earlier from Corki trying to get Lamia to dive in. Not quite happening there. But ultimately, they're making it happen pretty nicely. The Golem buff was just given to Rise, now about to be given over to Ari as well. These two mage players going to be just stacking that mana regeneration from that Golem buff, and it's going to just... They're going to keep hitting those spells out. They're going to keep last-hitting minions, and they're going to keep farming to be the biggest threats they can in this mid-game. And we can see Nunu just waiting in the brush. And this is a really cool move that Ghosty Pepper is doing. He doesn't need to be up in Ezreal's face right now, so he's standing in the brush that would watch for ganks to come in. They don't need wards everywhere because Ghosty Pepper can be that ward. He can have that vision and say, nope, there's no Mundo yet. Nope, no Mundo yet. Nope, still no Mundo. We're okay. You can keep pushing.
And we have an entry in here from Diamond Prox. Again, that Oracle coming into play once again. That Heart of Gold and Philosopher's Stone already on him for the gold generation items. Well, as we can see, Mundo only has his Heart of Gold right now, so it's going to be a lot more sustain coming from Udyr, as well as he has Turtle Form as they start to turn. N-Rated doing a very nice job just being a pest on this situation here, throwing a ward over the side. Cyanide coming from the top. Ezreal True Shot comes out. It's going to pass through Dragon, and they will now start to grab aggro from that if they get in range. It's going to be Ari that takes that off, and now Ari trying to attack Dragon, you know, makes Moscow 5 say they still have it. They're going to be able to pull it out a little bit. We need vision, so that causes Moscow 5 to have to be closer to the fight. Both teams, however, decide Dragon is not worth it right now, and that's actually something we've seen previously from other teams saying it's not worth it. A good jump on, and Spirit Rush required to be used back into the prison, though. And she will be able to use the last one to get out, forced to back after the Ignite. So wasting a few summoner spells for the ultimate is going to work out in her favor.
Yeah, that was a little bit too aggressive there ultimately. But here comes Alex starting up on that Dragon. And they know they just forced one of Fnatic's members away. They know at worst it's a 5-on-4. And right now Lulu is not liking her chances, taking a bit of damage, forced to ultimate herself. That's one more cooldown that Fnatic will not have. And you can see Moscow 5 still staying up on that Dragon. They do pick up that kill. Moscow 5, the first Dragon of the game, putting themselves up now at 2,000 gold in the lead.
As we move out of that Dragon, 3-1 in favor of Moscow 5. 15 minutes has just passed. These teams doing almost exactly the same thing, as at 15 minutes they had the same amount of gold as they did last game.
Pekka not liking this engagement. Alex going to go in. One more rune presence going to almost secure this. There it is. Cyanide shows up. Can Pekka get away? The flash stun is going to be too much. Diamond picks that up, and Cyanide must run away. Now 4-1, and Alex has been involved in every one of his team's kills.
You know, we have not really seen of such an aggressive Flash Udyr since Saint used to play him in the jungle, but really such an effective champion. Bear stance, able to continuously stun if you are switching your target. Not a lot of people know that. Utilizing it very well. Didn't there, but was able to flash, get the bear stance, and then use the AoE from that Phoenix to get it down. We are going to see Fnatic again taking down the first turret of the game, as they have the past two.
Yeah, and actually I like the Spidey sense there from Alex Ish. So as it come down in behind through that golem area basically, and was like, I'm going to come in from behind Alex. If he defends this turret, we'll just combo him down. And Alex was like, I sense a SOAS. I'm going to run down behind the second turret, and he recalled there. It did give Fnatic the turret kill, and that was a good play overall, of course, by Fnatic. But Alex still, the guy's got some skills. He knew when ganks were coming. He's, again, been involved in every one of these kills, and he's got a very similar build to last time as well, going for that early magic penetration plus the early mana, and it's going to work out pretty well for him, I think.
Sin once again pushing his lane. We see these champions running in and out of the bushes that are below them, like you said before, creating themselves, or making themselves the ward that they don't have for the time being. Looks like we do have SOAS backing top. He's going to get a few purchases under his belt. He does have that Sunfire cape. He's going to be able to push lane very well, along with Brutal Strikes, which helps him do a little bit of AoE, that area of effect damage with his auto attacks. Diamond more than happy to take that shield shot on Essence Flux and clear the ward out once again.
Yeah, and suddenly, kind of out of nowhere, Moscow 5's bottom lane just spiraled out of control. Ezreal and Corki were neck and neck, but suddenly Genja has a 33 minion advantage over Lamia Zealot, and that is not a good place to be. He's gotten Ice Blasted, and Udyr is back in the mix. This could be a very, very bad 2v3. N-Rated getting jumped on. He's going to go ahead and sacrifice himself up in the front, slow everyone down, take that death, and leave Lamia alive. So good play there by N-Rated to keep his teammate alive, but even better by Moscow 5 to have the gank in the first place.
You know, they're doing very good on these ganks too. Coming in on mid, Alex Ish going into on Ari. A little bit too much HP though between these two champions. Doesn't look like they can quite just flatten each other from 100%. Sin doing what he can to continuously attack down on Malphite. Malphite's ground slam, a pretty good counter to Zin's attack speed, but still winning that lane in his favor. Great job by Darian. Now the focus onto Lamia. 0 mana between him and Nunu. The summoner heal goes out for both teams, I believe. Yeah. And we are going to see them back off from that situation.
And Lamia doing a good job knowing that the mana pools were very, very low. He knew he could stay, and he actually focused down onto Corki. You saw when Nunu kind of jumped in on him, he actually landed a Mystic Shot onto Genja and kept making sure his arcane shifts, or his Essence Fluxes, were going to hit Genja. And that allowed him to survive because they couldn't dive his turret. They didn't have enough health to do so.
Looks like a little bit of meat together down bottom. Cyanide and N-Rated clearing wards together, also placing wards. Power in numbers for this team right now. M5 very strong, even in single champion or in single lanes by themselves without any help. They are really, really strong right now, and they could do some damage. Udyr finding Mundo in the jungle. They're not going to be able to kill each other, but they will be forced to back off from each other in those situations. It's just not in Fnatic Raid Call's position right now to start these fights. They have to be very careful. Lamia still trying to farm up. As you said before, he was down. Most gold right now goes to Alex Ish once again at 6,700, and really it's only his team that is on his heels for that gold amount.
Yeah, but now at the bottom lane, a lot of poke going off on the Genja. The polymorph comes out, but a little bit too late. He already tossed those missiles out, and Diamond's coming here from the side. They see that with the ward. He's going to come on down. The ult from Nunu doing so much damage. One's going to fall. Well, it kept him slowed at the very least, and Lamia now getting chased out. Cyanide shows up at the last second to keep him alive, but great burst coming out from Moscow 5. Taking out N-Rated for the second time in about 2 minutes. It's going to snowball them ahead even farther, because now Corki has a kill and an assist on top of that minion farm advantage he has over Ezreal.
6-1 is your score here at 20 minutes into Game 3 here at the European Regionals. Your semi-final match, the first one underway between Moscow 5, BenQ, and Fnatic Raid Call. The first 2 games were absolutely ridiculous. Moscow 5 coming out in a fury, causing Fnatic Raid Call to surrender. Fnatic says we can change this around, and they took an absolutely amazing Game 2 that looked like Moscow 5 should have surrendered. Now into Game 3, it's 6-1, and Moscow 5 is doing what they did in Game 1. But what happened in Game 2 with Fnatic's comeback, we cannot count them out.
Yeah, and you're just seeing the top lanes. You know, let's start going through the whole rosters here as you crest about mid-game right now. Darien is keeping up with Soaz in minion farm, and that's usually very difficult. It's what people would generally consider a counter lane here at Malphite, because he can stack armor and still scale into offense, which tend to do very well against a physical heavy Xin Zhao. But you're seeing only a 7 minion difference here. Soaz trying to get that Frozen Heart out, and that's going to be a very big pickup. He's going to keep stacking armor. It's going to be a very good pickup to do so. And once he gets very large items, so it's going to really mitigate a lot of Moscow 5's damage. But until then, they're just getting a very farm Xin Zhao who can late game all day. But right now, we've got Moscow 5 looking for a dragon attempt.
They are going to be on the bottom side of this dragon, which leaves a lot of that dark area towards the top. They have vision of what's going on right now, but Moscow 5 also has a ward on the backside of Fnatic, so they see everything that's happening right now. That vision ward has been placed inside the dragon's den. Both teams once again back and forth.
There's a little bit of vision on both sides, so both teams know where they are.
Yep.
And Moscow 5, actually Alex waiting very, very far in the back, almost down to that tri-brush there, just says, yeah, I don't want to get initiated on first. I'll wait. You guys can open up on this. I want to make sure I'm not the first target here. And actually, looks like both these teams losing interest. Both Lamia and Genja making their way back to the bottom lane to take out these minions. And Moscow 5 going to go into full retreat, move over towards that mid lane. It's 1 turret to 1 turret right now. We'll see if Lamia can get himself some gold back. He needs to catch up, honestly, right now.
Oh, very nice charm there on Alex Ish. He may be forced to flash out of this situation, and he is unstoppable force coming in from Cyanide. There's the absolute zero. How much damage will it actually do? They are able to drop the 1-for-1 so far. Gosu Pepper forced to flash away on Nunu. It made the growth going on to Cyanide, but he stays alive. Ari now the focus of Xin Zhao and Udyr, as it looks like everybody may be able to make it out safe. No, the Valkyrie in, very aggressive from Genja as he turns. That's not aggressive. Cupcakes aren't aggressive. N-Rated now taking damage, and he may go down. He does by the last shot from Corki. Genja finally capitalizing on the kill. One more shot to Soaz, and the double hit, double kill for Genja as he comes out of that one alive. So aggressive, losing the last bit of mana to Valkyrie in and leaving himself in the fray.
Wow, and a 4-1, sorry, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1, yeah. A 3-1 overall fight for Moscow 5. Beautiful coordination there. The opening burst was so strong on Alex, but he popped his ultimate on Rise, and he spell-vamped and tanked for just 3 more seconds, and that was all he really needed. All the crowd control was burned, so they could not stop Nunu's absolute zero. And so Gosu Pepper just dealt so much damage in the opening there that the team fight just got turned around. Genja on Corki came in from the side. All of Fnatic was already weak, and it was cleanup time. They just tried to deal as much damage as they possibly could. And all Fnatic could really try to do was run that summon heal at the last second, helping to keep his team alive as well as they dove those turrets. Really, really nice moves there. Great teamwork overall.
Looks like Lamia may be poised to take this bottom turret.
And they're going to move on in some more. Still doing some damage. Genja left alone in a 1v2, though Ghost Pepper is coming by as well. He's been turned into a cupcake, which does force him to miss minion kills. And so Fnatic will be fine. Just push down on minions some more. They have decent ward coverage. They're not yet afraid of getting ganked. Right now it is 9-2, and Moscow 5 are still in the driver's seat.
They did get a ping down onto Baron there. They saw him going around, but it doesn't look like they're going to focus. Malphite, that's going to be Soaz and Darien meeting towards that top jungle. Darien has eyes on him. He's saying, guys, Malphite's coming down. We need to congregate here. We need to make something happen. Dragon doesn't come up for another 4 minutes. It looks like everybody's heading down from top lane. It looks like they're going to try to push down strong through this mid, possibly.
And it's just strange because Fnatic normally has done an amazing job by this point of getting all 3 outer turrets, but they're grouping in mid again. Now they actually have a lane sneak coming on from Dr. Mundo at the bottom. They've got Ahri and Malphite reasonably close by. This could turn sour. Xin Zhao and Ryze both heading from mid as well to join in with these guys at the bottom. Ghost Pepper still putting the slow out onto Lamia. Okay, looks like the mid lane will return right now. But it's 1-1 on turrets. This is rare to see Fnatic actually equal or behind in turrets. We'll see if they regroup somewhere else, or if they're going to be happy to sit there and kind of split up on their farm.
And for these lull moments, the moments where nothing's going on, it seems like both of these teams are just playing a different style. Until, like I said, Moscow 5 finds that aggression that they want, they won't do anything. They'll seem like the most passive team in the world, clearing wards, doing what they want. But when that fight happens, they come out full force, 110%. And right now, see, they had that bottom lane advantage. They said, you know, they're only there, the wave's pushing, we don't want to do anything there. We're going to have to dive under the turret. Not a good situation. They see Malphite somewhat in the jungle. They are moving everybody towards that area to say, hey, 3v1 situation, that's what we want.
Yep, absolutely. And you're going to see some collapsing coming in. Udyr and Ryze left to push back a little bit. Fnatic still wanted to push out this top lane. There's so many minions are giving up at the top. Sorry, they're pushing the mid lane. There's so many minions are giving up at the top as now their minion wave is so much bigger that they're crushing and collapsing on those blue minions every time. There's 7 minions that they're not going to get. And with the game this close, honestly, that amount of minion kills really does matter quite a lot. Here's Darien actually moving to the top lane to clean this one up. He's going to get so much gold out of this. You're going to see his level 16, his minions 212. Just everyone on Moscow 5 is so incredibly rich, and you're seeing the advantage grow even farther, actually, if you compare Genja to Lamia. 9,000 to 6,500. There's a 2,500 gold difference between the attack damage carries, and that is a huge, huge margin between the two.
And definitely something to note as well, 7,800 is the highest gold on Ahri. 2 members of Moscow 5 are over 9,000 gold apiece.
Yeah, they are just incredibly rich. The overall gold total difference, about 7,000. Actually, it's a 20% lead. That's actually rather significant. Moscow 5 are looking really good in this mid game. And I think they're not many steps away from making this game 3 their own. However, Fnatic do have the ability to assassinate. We've only really seen one unstoppable force come out from Soaz, and when he hit it, they killed Ryze. And Ryze, I think, still right now the all-star of the Moscow 5 lineup. They kill out one of those major champions. That's going to be a very big hit. Soaz has finished his Frozen Heart, so suddenly the attack speeds are going to be a lot lower on Moscow 5. The ability to go into a very end game, I think, is in Fnatic's favor. So I think they're actually okay with, I mean, I don't think they like that they're down 20% in gold, but they're okay with having this kind of sit there and get later on. And Rada taking a bit of harass there. Genja hitting some damage. Ahri trying to show up. There's Ghost Pepper landing his absolute 0. And here comes the counter initiation. They are in. And Rada taking a lot of damage. They're going to try to do what they can. A lot going in. There's the unstoppable force. Can they pick anything up? Diamond taking some pain. Ezreal still chasing in. 1 hit from Dead. Ryze nearby. Will they get the comeback kill? Soaz will drop down. They slipped out the Oracles, but it was a 2-for-1 trade. Moscow 5, I think, are still going to like that.
Yeah, Moscow 5 came in strong there. Alex Ish a little slow on the regroup, but he was able to get there and help his team out. Diamond went down in the end with that Ignite on, even though he's trying to turtle out. And again, If one thing happens not in their favor, Moscow 5 makes sure that another thing will happen in their favor, that is. They are able to drop 2 there. Diamond Prox went down valiantly in that bottom lane. It was a great ultimate by N-Rated as well to stop that first bear stance, but there was just too much aggression and determination coming from Moscow 5. Darian coming in on the side. Can he get that charge in? Onto Expeke. He dodges into the bush. Will he decide to go back into the other? He will. Oh, he misses the charm, and he goes back to 3-talent strike, about to hit, and it will be the end for Expeke with one more hit. 300 gold to Darian, and they actually pick up a 3rd kill from that instance.
Wow, and Moscow 5 really pushing themselves into the lead, now 8,000 gold up. And Ari's ultimate was just a few seconds away from cooling down. If she had gotten just a little bit more baiting, she could have rushed away with that Spirit Rush, made it out. Right now, Moscow 5 looks like they want to command this game. Genja poking in on Cyanide. He is very, very durable right now. Trinity Force plus Last Whisper, and moving on. And they're also going to start now on this Baron. Now Soaz knows about this, puts the ward down. Fnatic needs this fight very, very badly to go in their favor.
Turning around, trying to grab Soaz. Alex East does not have much mana, so he will throw most of his away if he goes for this. He does have blue buff, but it is going to take some time. They are still keeping it on Baron. They can choose to step away from Baron for a few seconds and come back. The absolute zero goes out at the time. They will need to strike on Baron. It is going to go to Fnatic. They do steal the Baron. Soaz will go down. Lamia will as well. But the gold and experience will be in their favor. Do they have enough to hold the next few turret takes?
Well, the good news for Fnatic is they dropped out the attack damage carry. So even though they're running 2 versus 4, it's a little bit harder for Moscow 5 to push. But that said, both Udyr and Xin Zhao are good enough at eviscerating these turrets. Rise not so much. Nunu pretty good because of Blood Boil. They are going to get a few turrets out of this. So the gold and experience from that turret kill, definitely awesome. But N-Rated getting a little too aggressive. He's taking way too much burst. And Alex with a pretty much solo kill there. And N-Rated, honestly, that is just a mistake because he did not need to defend the turret like that.
Exactly. They could have pushed all the way up the steps. He did not need to leave base. And they're going to go ahead and grab that blue buff now, denying the resources of Fnatic Raid Call.
They're going to move in, take the dragon away. They're going to like that. They're going to keep farming themselves up. This will put them now 10,000 gold up, and that is a large amount of gold by any stretch of the imagination. Darian still going to be able to farm, but let's take a look at that Baron steal. Ghost Pepper opened up with a quick ultimate to try to stop everything else. Cyanide trying to push through Rune Prison, getting bursted. It's going to have to be Lamia. Can Cyanide get into range? Yes, just barely in right before he died. He got that a half second before he fell down. And then, of course, it was like, well, we're in. We've got to go for it. We'll do what damage we can. They did pick up the kill on a Genja, but Moscow 5 really did clean up very nicely there.
The Baron steal we have seen come out huge in this weekend, turning the tides of matches. It's not going to be one to completely bring them back. That's going to have to happen again, be it their own Baron or be it another steal. They are still very far behind, but that is a huge step for them to climb back up.
Now Lamia trying to open up onto Genja, doing some pretty decent damage here. Looks like it's not quite going to be enough though. Almost now 70 minion advantage here. 11,400 to 8,600. Still a very, very big difference here between these attack damage carries. Even though he picked up the kill on Corki and he got that Baron, Lamia is still not nearly as scary right now. But Ghost Pepper taking a bunch of bursts to the face. No one is near him. They're going to jump in as fast as they can. Can they pick up Ghost Pepper? Lamia taking some burst in from Genja. The ultimate comes off. Will pick up one. Now Genja trying to run. He's going to need to land something to make this happen. He does get the Trinity Force proc, but that's not going to be enough, as Malphite actually was dropped down at the top of the map. The great move from Alex Ish on Rise.
Oh, possibly a mistake there. They have vision up top of the rest of the team. They are actually on that turret. Mundo still had Lulu's growth on him. I do not know why he didn't chase down. The amount of poke they could have had would have been able to shut him down.
Yeah, but they're going to get one turret for themselves for their effort. It is still a 4 versus 4. Oh my gosh, the top of the map though. Pekka not going to like this. Tries to dash away, but Alex doing too much damage on Rise. They've got their own turret kill. I don't think Fnatic should stay here at this bottom lane picking up turrets because they're going to lose so much of their base if they stay out of the way.
Yeah, with Udyr and Darien there, that's a lot of attack speed you're not going to shut down. And he is just using quick Phoenix to Tiger, and he's going to be able to do so much as he comes out of those. Again, the inhibitor going down, they're going to be forced to back, and now look, Corki's going to actually try to stop Mundo here. Will they try to contend this? Yes, at that bottom lane, you can see on the mini-map, they're kind of shutting them down from backing, forcing Mundo to walk back, giving them less defense at the base.
Yeah, and Diamond easily able to run away from Malphite. The slow's not going to last long enough to really matter right here. And Diamond actually moving on to a Frozen Heart right now is going to be massive for him. He's going to have so much more durability. It's really going to shut down the Ezreal's damage output. And poor Lamia just went for a Bloodthirster. But let's look at what happened that prior kill. Soaz getting ganked from the brush. Look at that burst damage. He flashed away, but it's not quite going to matter. Darien and Alex putting out so much damage. And the thing is, he actually had Unstoppable Force ready the entire time, but he wanted to save that cooldown. In the end, actually kind of a bad choice.
Yeah, that Unstoppable Force is going to get him well out of range of Rune Prison from Alex Ish on Rise, and any of the stunts he would have encountered from that 3-talent strike probably would have been the best idea. Back onto the map though, each team has 5 strong. It's really in favor of Moscow 5 BenQ right now, but we have seen Fnatic turn this around. 36 minutes into the matchup, Baron comes up in 2 minutes.
And that's going to be, I think, what Fnatic's going to look for, is they don't want another 1-3 fight with a Baron steal, because if they lose 3 members of their team and there's 4 alive for Moscow 5, they'll just lose their base. Fnatic cannot get too cheeky here. Now, it's a really good idea of them to push like this. That brings the gold a bit closer, and that's what they want to do, is trading turrets and trading kills is better. Being 10,000 gold behind kind of sucks, but if both teams have like 90,000 gold, 10,000 gold is chump change at that point. It's not really that big of a deal. At this point, 10,000 gold means a whole lot. Right now, Fnatic wants to accelerate this game into the end game any way they can. They want to stop the pushes if they can, and they want to instead farm on both sides, trade kills on both sides.
So much damage to the turret. Will they have to back off? They go right onto Ahri. Xin trying to throw his ult down, pushing everybody else out. Unstoppable Force will shut them down, but they may have taken too much damage. They are able to trade back some of it, though. The focus right now onto Soaz, and he finally goes down as the first in the fight. They next find Mundo. Will they be able to drop the rest? Lamia N-rated, and Expeke forced to run out of the fight. Moscow 5 has yet to lose a member, but they are all blinking red with damage.
And they are just moving in now onto the Nexus. This is almost a sure victory here for Moscow 5, winning the first semifinal today, securing themselves into the World Championships in October. The second turret will fall, and Moscow 5 looking to clean this up. Lamia taking the damage, and there it is. The Nexus falls, Moscow 5 winning it.
An amazing push there. The damage was huge, but we only saw front end burst from Fnatic in that fight, and we